All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here. So, yesterday in the video, I talked about, well, first of all, we had that rejection yesterday morning from the top of the pitchfork band. We rejected pretty clearly from there, and I was saying we could get more downside to 102K, especially if we lose this pitchfork midline, which we did. And the 102K would have been the start of, or it would have been the local golden pocket in the midline of this channel here, this ascending channel that we've been in for quite a while. And you can also see we rejected from the top of the ascending channel as well. So it was a resistance. I was saying that we did have bearish divergence on the daily and weekly, and this was the level at key resistances to be looking for shorts. So if you would have taken these shorts at these levels, or even, on the lower high that we created, I'll show you that in a second. We rejected from the 382, which often acts as resistance or support in a strong trend. Now we continue down. So I'll go into that real quick here. Yesterday, I'm going to zoom in onto the 1 hour chart here. We had rejected from the top of this channel. We came down to the midline, but we front ran it a little bit. And it was because it was an SFP of these lows here. And SFP means swing failure pattern. So what a swing failure pattern is, let me turn on the magnet here. A swing failure pattern is when you have a certain low that was support, and you had traders that longed this low here. They had longed it, and if it's a decent trader, they'll long it and they'll put their stop loss. They'll long it from here and they'll put their stop loss below the wick here for a little bit. They'll long it and they'll put their stop loss below the wick, and then they'll continue. Say they longed it here. They'll bring it up maybe to the golden pocket, and then they put their stop loss below just in case they're proven wrong. Then they get stopped out of their trade, because planning a trade, you should have an invalidation for that trade. So if your trade gets invalidated, it automatically stops your position out so you don't lose too much money, or so you don't get liquidated. So if you're a responsible trader, you should be doing that. You should always be setting stop losses based on your trading analysis, based off your trading plan. So all the people that long this low here, they would have put their stops below that low, maybe give it a little bit of breathing room, put your stop below that low, and then you could bring it up. If you were bullish, you could have brought it up to the top of the channel and took a TP at the top of the channel there. That's a really good risk reward there, 4-to-1 risk reward there. Actually, a 9, almost 10-to-1 risk reward. And I probably would have put my stop loss below this low here, so you'd see a 5.5 risk reward ratio. So that's what a swing failure pattern is if you come down to that level of liquidity, stop out those traders that have their stops below this low, then you can reverse the price action and continue up. We saw the swing failure pattern of this low yesterday. That's why we got this little rise here. But if we take the Fibonacci pull, let me delete that. Let me turn my magnet back on. And if we take the Fibonacci pull from the high to the low, you can see oftentimes a golden pocket will be a place that we retrace to. It's a really key place that we retrace to create a lower high, especially if you had market structure change, because we created a new low. Now we can look for a lower high to short if the trend is going to change. And we saw that we did make a lower low, so we could have been looking for a lower high to short to continue the trend down. Now, we hit the 382, Fibonacci 382, which often acts as resistance in a strong trend. So we came up to the 382, we hit it, we weren't able to break above the 382, and that's why we're continuing down here. We did come down yesterday. I talked about this plan to come down to the channel midline, which was also the golden pocket of this high to low here, from this low here. If we bring it up to this high, we go to the golden pocket. You can see the golden pocket was in really good confluence with the channel midline. So I was saying this was a possible level to bounce from. But because we front ran so closely earlier today, that golden pocket, I think it was this morning or during London, we front ran that golden pocket. We came back up and made another lower high here on the 1 hour, and then we broke it. So that plan didn't work very well. That support didn't work very well. And I was talking about, if that support doesn't work very well, then we do have the bottom of the channel and the 786 around 97.5. We also had, if I go on to the pitchfork chart, we had this pitchfork band, which was there, and then the bottom of the pitchfork, which is what we're holding and bouncing from now. So as well as rejecting from the top of the channel, we did reject from the top of this band here. Now, one of the things we can look for, if we reject from the band and then we break this band here, we can look, this could be the start of a bigger correction. So after a big impulse up, you look for what's called an ABC correction in Elliott waves. So if we go ABC correction, this was our A wave, our B wave was here, and then our C wave could be, so one way to figure out the target of an ABC correction is to take a trend-based fib extinction, and you just go from the high to the low of wave one, then back to the high of wave two, and the one-to-one target is also oftentimes your correction in a C wave, and sure enough, look at that's right where we're bouncing from right now. So this could be the end of a little mini ABC correction before continuing up to that 113K fib channel that I'm talking about, that 1.618 fib channel level, which is a very important level in my opinion. Now, if we break this level, then this could be the start not of an ABC correction, but it could be the start of a 5-wave impulse to the downside. If we're going to see those bigger daily bearish divs play out and the bigger weekly bearish divs start to play out, then this could be the start of a bigger correction. So what we can do there is if I go on this chart here, I'm going to get rid of this stuff that I just showed you guys. You can look, you can take that same trend-based Fibonacci extinction, you go wave one here, up to the top of wave two, and then what in a impulse, the third wave of the impulse is usually the strongest, most aggressive wave, and it usually goes to the 1.618. Well, if you look here, you guys, the 1.618 is aligning with the bottom of the ascending channel and the bigger 786 retrace. So that 786 retrace, I'm going to go zoom out to the 4-hour chart here. It's going to be from this low to that. So if you see this low here, which was a last key swing low, and they're pretty much semi-equal lows or pretty much equal lows, so you could pull it either way. You could do it from this one here, or you could do it from this one here. But that from this low to the high, to the all-time high, which is just the local swing high, the 786 is in perfect confluence with the bottom of the channel. It's also in perfect confluence with the third wave target if this is an impulse down. Now, if this is an impulse down, that's a little bit more bearish, because what we could see is you know, that 1, 2, 3 to the third wave target. A fourth wave could retrace back up to, you know, the prior highs, or we'd do a fib pull to see where our targets are, and then you'd see a fifth wave, and the fifth wave would be probably breaking this channel. And at that point, we would probably come down and sweep all the liquidity of this channel, at least sweep the liquidity of the flash crash lows, and maybe sweep this liquidity here, because remember, Coinbase did not sweep this liquidity that Bybit did. We have a bunch of liquidity from these lows, a bunch of longs that people have been in that haven't been stopped out on these longs. Now, Bybit did see a wick that wicked past that and swept those lows, but Coinbase did not. So we had some differences in the exchanges, and usually when something like that happens, we will come back down again to let everybody get in. So we might sweep these lows here at 90,600, and let's do a range pull here. So if we do a range pull from this range here of the ascending channel, sure enough, look at that. The value area low of this range is also right around the SFP. So if this is a 5-wave impulse, after a fourth wave is created, after we bounce from 97.5, which you could long as a scalp, bring it up to the 0.5 or 382 fib, and then we might crash down to $90,000 here, and SFP these lows, let Coinbase get in on that action that Bybit already got in on, stop out all the traders, even on the big boy exchange, Coinbase here with all the ETFs, into the value area low of this range here, and then we could probably continue upwards. So 90K is going to be an important level to watch if we break 97.5. Let me clean up this chart here a little bit. Yeah, value area low in confluence with this SFP. And then also, let's see here, if we do a fib pull from the lows of the start of the channel, which I know it's a wick past the start of the channel, but we could do these lows to this high. And you're probably going to see, let me fix that. There, and let's go to the 786. 786. Sure enough, 786 is right down there as well. So this area, about $90,000, if we lose 97.2, it's going to be a key important level. 90 will probably flush back down to 90,000 because there's not much holding us up. We could SFP these two lows and continue from 95, which I do believe that 95K actually is an important level as well, because if we take this bigger, not that one, let's see, if we take the bigger log channel, that was the log channel that we had. I think I deleted that here, so let me go on to the weekly. All right, so if I go to the weekly, we're on the log chart, we're going to go from the 65K high to the 69K high down to the bear market lows. Now that I've recreated this channel, let's zoom back in onto the 2-hour chart. Let's come back up here. And yeah, it's about that level. So 97.5 is pretty close to a bullish back test of this channel. And that would be like on a weekly time frame or a daily time frame. We'd be back testing on a higher time frame, the break of that channel. Let me delete this here. So yeah, we'd be back testing the back test of this channel. We can continue up to the 113K, or if we break it, we're probably coming down to 90K at the very least. And if these bearish divs and weekly divs play out, if we lose that, we're pretty much coming back down to the 70s here. You know, probably to the value area high of this 7-8 month range that we created all in here. So we'd probably come back down to these levels here, 70K. So that's something to watch for on Bitcoin. Let me get to the other chart here. We are holding right now the pitchfork still. This is a bullish pitchfork. We're still in the bullish trend, but we have changed market structure on lower time frames. We are seeing higher time frame divs, and there are signs that this might continue to the downside. So this level, this 100K level that we're at right now, is pretty important. It is the 1-to-1 ABC correction. It's the bottom of the pitchfork. If we don't hold this, and it is possible we can wick a little bit past it to the 99.2, which is a golden pocket as well. But if we don't, then we're probably coming back down much lower. So let me actually show you guys. If we take a fib pull from this low here, actually let's do that one, and then we bring it up to the highs, you can see the golden pocket here is going to be right below us at 99.5 to 99.2. And we also have the liquidity of these longers that longed this low here, right in confluence. So we could SFP this into the golden pocket. It could be a fake out of this pitchfork. But at that point, we'd also be losing the 1-to-1 ABC correction target. So you got to be careful. I would not be putting limits there. If we did that and we confirm the SFP, then you could maybe enter then, or if you wanted to play it safer, you could wait for the reclaim of this pitchfork, then long the reclaim of the pitchfork right here and continue it up higher. And even at that point, you'd want to be looking for lower highs to take profit at lower highs, just in case the downside trend is going to continue with the daily and weekly bearish divergences. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. It is going to be important what happens in the next day or next few hours, actually. Now, total market cap, we did reject again from the top of the band here. And I do think it is very, very possible that we can come back down to this liquidity that's resting here of these double lows into the pitchfork midline. Now, we might chop for a few days, which is probably what we'd want to see. We'd want to see, you know, some chops, some lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, come into that, and then continue up higher. So we're going to be watching for that as well. On total 3, we did, in yesterday's video, I talked about that little range and how the value area low was in confluence with the top of this band for a bullish retest. Well, that didn't provide us any support, because when Bitcoin started crashing, altcoins, we know altcoins are kind of like a leveraged bet on Bitcoin. They're going to crash harder. So the altcoins were not able to hold above this pitchfork band. We're dropping into it again. We're right at the base of it. We're trying to hold it as support, but it looks like we're going to be losing it. We're on the 4-hour chart here. You can see money flow is starting to aggressively come out now. And I do think we can go lower. I think we can at least take the liquidity of this flash crash that we had on December 5th here. And then December 9th, sorry. And then we might even come back down to the midline here around 827. And that would be kind of an SFP, depending on some time that went by. We could SFP these lows here into the midline, close the daily above it. If we look at a range pull or a fib pull of this last swing high to swing low to swing high, so we already took the liquidity from the golden pocket, or we already used that as our support. But the 786 here, if we SFP these lows into the 786, that might hold the support and we might continue higher. Let me look at one more thing here. Let me do this pull down to this one. Okay, so golden pocket here. Yeah, so see, if we do a larger range pull or a larger fib pull, we have a golden pocket right around the 786 of that other range pull that I just showed you, the smaller one. And that is the SFP of these two lows too. So that is a level to be watching on total 3. If we come down to this support, what you want to do is you want to go to the altcoins that you like and look to see if they're at key supports as well. If total 3 is at key support and your altcoins at key support, you can look for longs to at least bring it up to a lower high or to bring it up to new highs. But total 3 is a really important chart to watch if you're looking for levels of support just on the basic altcoin market, the overall altcoin market, where you would look, then you'd go to your whatever altcoin you're looking at to see if it's at its support as well, to see if you're going to want to take that long or not. So yeah, that's my update for today. I'm going to try to keep this pretty short. One thing I want to tell you guys, there's a lot of scammers out right now because crypto's got a lot of eyes on it. There's a lot of excitement about crypto. So when you guys see things like this, like comments like this, thanks for the breakdown, I need some advice. You know, they give their wallet and then they supposedly give their secret phrase, their 12-letter secret phrase to it. This is a scam trying to somehow scam you to get your money from you. Do not fall for this kind of stuff. Also, you will have people, other good traders in the market, like Dualt's a really good trader from the Legends community, Andy Bitcoin Consensus. They'll reach out to you. So I like to mess with them and waste their time so they're not scamming other people. But they'll be like, you can never lose your capital. You know, this is all scams, you guys. They'll pretend to be that person. Look at their actual handle to see if it's actual Dualt. See how this is not actual Dualt's handle there. So it's someone pretending to be him. They reach out to you. They try to say, oh, you can follow us and make a lot of money. Just invest with our platform. The second you click on this link, you're probably going to get some sort of virus on your computer, or the second you actually create an account with them and deposit money into that, your money's gone forever. So don't fall for this stuff, you guys. Scammers are ridiculous. They're getting really good at what they do, but in my opinion, they're horrible people. They shouldn't be praying. I even tried to tell this guy, like, you know, my family's really in need of some income. We were struggling really bad, to see if he would care at all. Not at all. He didn't care. He's like, yeah, just, you know, put the money in. So these people are scum. Don't fall for this stuff. Hope this helps a little bit, you guys. Hope the TA helps. Let me know if you guys want any other altcoin TA for you, and have a good day.